and Happy New Year! I hope everyone had a happy and fun holiday season. So now it's time to get back to work. This is episode number 251 of eBay the Right Way. Today's date is January 7th, 2026. My guest is Terri in Indiana. No announcements today, so let's go!
Welcome back, everybody, and Happy New Year. I have Terri as my guest today. And how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Little slow getting moving this morning, even though it
Yeah,
is 11
yeah,
o'clock.
yeah,
I'm in
that
holiday
happens.
mode. So, okay, well, where are you located?
I'm in a little town of Brookville, Indiana. It's about 40 miles west of Cincinnati. It's almost the halfway point between Indianapolis and Cincinnati.
Okay, okay. And we usually start off with talking about what brought you to eBay and when that happened.
Okay, so I actually opened an eBay account in 2020 just to kind of get in, look around, and get familiar with it. I didn't actually start selling until 2022, though. I had
Oh,
a
okay.
friend, Mary Disney. I think you know her. She's been on your
Yes,
podcast.
Mary.
Mary's a good friend of mine, and she kept
Oh,
pushing
really?
me and pushing me, and she was a great mentor. She helped me so much. She would have lunch dates with me and just give me tips and to get started. So that's kind of I jumped on with both feet in 2022 and been doing it ever since.
Okay, and how do you know Mary?
We go to church together.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, she was on several years ago. I'll have to look up that episode and put that in at the end. I love
Yeah,
how eBay grows between friends and acquaintances, and good for you for doing the work to get it going because it's
yeah.
not easy at the beginning.
No, and she was so good and patient with, answering all of my questions. I would text her and, hey, what about this? What about that? She was always so helpful. So I'm really appreciative of that for to her,
Good,
Mary's a good lady.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in Indiana, and I hear a lot of eBayers talk about the sourcing there is really good. I guess it depends on where you are exactly.
Yeah. A lot, of course, like any place, summer's always best. You can hit yard sales and garage sales. But then in the wintertime, it definitely slows down. You just got to, mostly auctions, things like that,
Mhm.
estate sales. We do have quite a few auctions around here weekly. So, we can hit those in the winter, you know.
Okay, good, good. Well, I reached out to you because I saw you posting on the group and posting some great sales. So we're going to get into that in a minute. What about your household? Is it just you or you have
No, it's
family there?
myself and my husband. We're empty nesters. Our
Okay.
daughter, we have one daughter. She lives in Knoxville, Tennessee. So have two grandkids. Yeah, so we're just empty nesters and he helps me all the time. He's actually at an auction right now looking for stuff for me to sell and we've always kind of ever since we've been together, we've been married almost 35 years, but we've always like gone to yard sales and auctions and bought things back when Craigslist was a whole thing. We used to buy and sell mowers all the time. I would find them on Craigslist. I would reach out, contact the person. We would go pick it up after work in the evenings. He would bring it home, work on it, and we would sell those. And that's kind of how we, got this whole bug for buying and selling. We've sold, I think, almost 500 mowers now. So yeah,
Really?
he helps me. He does all my shipping. I pack it, I get it ready to go, but he drops it off at the post office for me every day. So he's a great help.
That's wonderful that you can
Yeah,
do it together.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to talk him into starting his own eBay page, but so far he's not jumped on board. He's just happy to help me out, but it works. So
Well, and then starting from scratch is kind of tough because you have to build up your store or your account at least to get the selling limits. And it is so much easier if you have an established account.
Right. Right. It
Do you know
takes
what your
time.
do you know what your selling limits are?
I don't off the top of my head. I don't.
Oh, well, I'm only asking that because I looked at mine the other day because it's on the seller hub
Hmm.
and they keep raising it. I'm never going to get there. I can list 10 million items
My goodness.
with a 15, I'm sorry, $100 million limit.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I'm
I
like,
don't think I'm anywhere near that.
the longer you sell, the more they just increase it and don't even tell you. You just look.
Yeah.
Well, I guess sometimes you get an email. You can just look on your seller hub, and it's just crazy
Yeah.
to me that yeah, I'm never gonna get there. But thank you for giving
Who?
me the
Yeah.
opportunity to list that many items.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I have that many to list, but
Right. Right. Who would
anyway,
have time, right?
I know, yeah.
Mhm.
And you said that you had today off from your regular job. What do you
I
do
do.
there?
I work at a bank. I do all
Okay.
things ACH related,
Oh, okay.
treasury management, online payments, payrolls, that type of thing.
Okay. And how long have you been in the banking industry?
Only about 8 years. Before that, I worked for Ford Motor Company. I was a welder, and I worked
Oh,
there for six.
really?
Yeah, I worked there for 16 years, and then they shut it down, moved it to Mexico,
Ah,
and so then lost my job there. And then from there, I just did like I worked at a school for a little while, but then I went to the bank, and I've been there 8 years now, and I love it there.
good, good. Do you have any plans for retirement, or are you just going to keep riding the wave until whenever?
Oh, I mean, I'm like everybody else. I would like to and just, work. I would really like to work eBay full time, just retire and make that my
Mhm.
full time job. But, there's all the other things to consider. And
Right.
so, I've at least got to get to 62. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And what year were you born?
68.
Okay. So you're
Yeah.
2 years younger than me. Okay. Yeah, we're right on the horizon there of like,
Yeah.
oh.
Like, do we go? Do we go? Do we stay?
Right.
It's,
Now
yeah.
we can edit this out if you don't want to share this. Did you get a pension from Ford?
Um, I, I had one and they gave us the opportunity to buy that pension out.
Okay.
And so I took that money and just rolled it over into like a retirement account. And so
Right.
I've just been letting that build. I've actually, that's been 15 years ago. So it's just been building this whole
Oh,
time.
good for you.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot, but I didn't, you just never know how those things are going to play out 20, 25 years down the road. So I just took the sure thing
Oh,
and
absolutely. Yeah, I would do
invested it.
that
Yeah.
too. And
Yeah.
so you're probably looking at when you're 59 and a half, like you can start taking money out without penalty. And
Yeah. And
but
they
then you
had a
look
third.
at it and you're like, I don't know if I want to take any out. It's earning and I just kind of want to leave it there. But I could take it out, but I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, and they had a 30 and out program, so I would have been retired with, benefits had they not closed it down.
Oh,
So
right.
that's a little, you know,
Uh, oh well.
but that's okay. That's
Okay, so
okay.
you do you work like 40 hours a week?
I do, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you're just fitting in eBay around all of that.
Yeah. So I come home in the evenings, whatever has sold overnight during the day, I ship in the evenings, and
Mm-hmm.
then my husband takes it with him to work in the mornings and then ships it on the way home.
Oh,
Because the
good.
post office closes or opens like 15 minutes after I start work, and they
Oh,
close like half hour before I leave work. So it's like I'm in that weird time, so he does it.
yeah, and you don't want to leave those packages unsupervised to be picked
Right,
up. Yeah.
right.
Well, that's a good arrangement. Do you have 1 day handling?
I do.
Oh, good for
Yes.
you. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So, for the listeners, in case you don't know, 1 day handling gets you hire and search. So, and then eBay's always sending those reminders like you could, what is it, top rated plus if you ship same day. I'm never going to commit to that.
No. A lot of times I do. I have it set to 1 day, but a lot of times, like today, if I'm home, I will go ahead and just ship it same
Oh,
day.
sure.
And
Yeah.
if I can do it, I do it. But I always give myself that little buffer of the one day. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I do the same thing. If my mail hadn't been picked up, I'll go ahead and keep shipping until it is. But
yeah,
to have that commitment of same day, that's a pretty big commitment.
yeah,
So, how many
yeah.
items do you have listed?
Right now, I think I looked last night, it's around
Oh,
775, I think. I had around 850, and oddly enough, for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I ran a 20% off sale in my store. And I
mm-hmm.
mean, it's just I'm probably over 60 items at this point since Black Friday. It's just
Oh, good.
it's gone crazy. Yeah, I've never had that happen, but so it took me down from like 850 down to maybe a little less, 830 down to like 775 or
Well, that is
something.
not a bad problem to have.
No. But ideally, I would love to cut this inventory in half and get it a little more manageable and
Mm-hmm.
and get rid of the things that, have just been setting. I don't know. That's going to be my winter project.
Yeah, right, right. Now,
Yeah.
did you see a theme of the types of items you sold on your 20% off for Black Friday? Or was it
No,
just a mix of,
it's been random. And I mean, some things that have been setting for a year, 2 years are selling, so there's been no rhyme or reason at all. It's really strange, but
yeah, I'm always analyzing like, well, what did you sell?
yeah,
What were people looking for? And it's like you said, I sold something the other day I've had over 2 years. And you never know when you're listing it. Like, is this going to sell in an hour? Or am I going to be
right,
looking at this 2 years from now?
right. And
Yeah.
that's kind of, I think, part of the learning process too. When, I don't know about other people, but when I first started it, I bought it because it was cheap,
Mhm.
and that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to sell. So I have a lot of things, like when I first started that I didn't really, my learning process that's still sitting in totes that, I'm going to try to weed all of that out. That's a lot of it that I would like to downsize. So
Yeah. Good time to have a garage sale.
yeah, yeah,
Make it
for
somebody
sure.
else's problem.
For sure.
But that's weird because I've bought inventory from other sellers and it's stuff they couldn't move. And
Hmm.
then I get it and it sells. That can happen. It depends on the keywords. It depends
Right,
on all kinds of factors. So just because it doesn't sell for one person doesn't mean it won't sell at all. But
right.
we do get sick of looking at things like what is it? Bill Hunt calls it the eBay voodoo, where you go into your your eBay
Yeah,
storage and you
yeah.
start touching things and asking the
And they
universe, please
sell.
let someone buy this. And sometimes it works.
I had an old, I think it was West Bend was the brand, like a old percolator coffee pot, and that thing had sat in my store for, I know, a year and a half, 2 years. And every time I would scroll by it on my eBay, I would think those pictures are terrible. So one day I just took it out and reworked the whole ad and took new pictures and did all of that and listed it, and it sold, I think, in a week. So it's like
Uh-huh.
sometimes you just have to do those kind of things as well.
Right. Changing the picture can help. And, you just have to jiggle it around a little bit, or
Yeah.
even they say don't do the end and sell similar and all that because
Right.
eBay said at eBay Open that creates too many URLs for the item and the search gets confused, and it's better to pull up the listing and revise it, change some things. I'm not convinced promoted listings is the answer to everything. I think if you have items that are in demand, they don't make anymore, discontinued, vintage, it's gonna sell.
Right.
Yeah. So
I do promote. I was thinking of this coming year to kind of take the promotions off just to see. I don't know. I mean, I always just promote at 2%, and
mhm.
I don't notice a huge difference whether I do or I don't. So,
Well, it'll be
you know,
interesting to see in January on the 13th when they change the system for promoted
right.
listings.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? I'm just going to keep doing what I do and see how it changes.
Yeah.
Look at your statement, see how much you're charged, and does that change? Because we have so many people talking about boycotting promoted listings. They're not going to do the new
Right.
way. They're not going to do it at all. And I see that as an opportunity for those of us who are going to still do it. We'll
And
have,
I don't know if I'm misunderstanding, but if you promote at 2%, you're just going to expect to pay that 2%, correct? I mean, if I'm not sure what I'm missing on that whole, what the whole controversy is. I mean, if I promote at 2%, I'm just expecting when I sell it, I'm going to pay that 2%.
some people look at it as it's no different than putting it on sale. You're going to
Right.
get less money in the end because you're going to be charged the fee. But if you put it on sale, you would get less money through that avenue. So that's why I'm saying
Right.
I think it's just going to be a wait and see kind of thing. We're just not
Yeah.
going to know how it's going to work until the program is launched and we see how many people participate or not. And they may change it back if
Yeah.
eBay does that. I started in 2003 and they would change things and then the community would be in an uproar and so they would change it back. So
Yeah.
nothing is permanent with
Right.
this business or eBay or the rules. Like it's fluid. It's just constantly changing. So, and
Right.
I say to the people who become upset with these changes and well, I'm not going to sell on eBay anymore. I'm going to quit. Well, okay, doesn't work for you, don't do it. There's plenty of other
Right.
platforms, but and then
Right.
again, that's going to be fewer competitors. So as I say, don't let the door hit you on the way out if you're leaving. Adapt or die, as they say.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah.
anyway, do you want to talk about some of your sales?
Sure. I'll tell you some things that sell almost every time I list them. They're just kind of like what you call bread and butter. And it's just, I
Mhm.
just found them on accident, that they sell. But one of the things that we've noticed, and we've kind of made a joke about it, is like the aluminum ladles, like they use at farmhouses and things.
Yes. Uh-huh.
We picked those up. The first one we ever picked up, we bought at a lot in an auction, and it was just in a box of things, and we listed it, and it sold. I mean, within a few days for I think it was 20 or 25. I can't remember exactly.
Mhm.
And so then we had gone to a yard sale, and they had a couple of them laying there, so we picked them up again for $1 a piece, brought them home, listed them again, sold within week or two. Wasn't long for 25 dollars. And my husband's like, well, I guess we're in the ladle business now. So everywhere we go, we pick up those ladles and they sell. And I don't know what it is about them, but they're easy to list, easy to ship, easy to store. So,
So is it just because they're kind of like industrial cookware
it's
or
not
it's
even
just
really cookware. It's more like almost like what you would use to drink, like if you pull a bucket of water up out of a well and you
uh-huh.
would dip the water out, like those aluminum ladles. I don't know what the attraction is, but they sell. So that's kind of some things that we've just kind of stumbled onto and
That's
just like,
interesting. Like now you got to wonder are they decor? Are they actually using them for something?
and I
Are
kind of
they
use that in my listing, like farmhouse decor or whatever,
uh-huh.
So yeah, I don't know if they're actually using them, if they're decorating with them. I'm not real sure, but pick them up 50 cents a dollar
Uh-huh.
everywhere. So,
Are
so
they
yeah, that's
are they a brand or are they just unbranded?
just unbranded.
Okay.
Most of them, yeah. I found one that was stainless steel. I think it was more like for maybe like cooking, like industrial type. That one didn't sell as quickly as the aluminum ones did, but so yeah.
Well,
And
that's a
we,
great tip. I didn't know about that.
yeah, we didn't either. Like I said, some of the stuff we come across, it's just kind of dumb luck, we get it, and then, we just sit and laugh because we're like, what in the world's happening, But
I don't
but
think
hey,
it's
it
dumb
all works
luck. I
out.
think it's you're working the business and you're trying all these different products and you pay attention to what's working.
Yeah. And we just it's just random things like that you find that you have no idea, and they're not huge sales, but I mean you get 25 dollars sales, you know 4 or 5 of those a day, that adds up.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah. And one of the craziest sales I've ever had, we had gone to an all-day auction, and I've never been to an auction like this. They would clear the tables and then they would go back in the house and they just kept bringing stuff out of the house all day. This guy must have been like a hoarder or something. I'm not sure. So it got to be the end of the day and it was getting dark. We'd been there all day, and it was later in the year, so it got dark fairly early, 6 o'clock maybe. And so they just started lining up like these 10-foot tables, and they would just sell the whole table for $1.
Oh, yeah.
five
Oh
dollars
my gosh.
just to get the auction going, you know.
That's paradise for
I
us.
know. We were in
How much
heaven.
can I carry at once?
I
Right.
know. So I think for the whole day, I think we spent $65-$70 for everything we got that day, and we loaded our van up. So brought it home, put it in the garage, all of the things we bought, and that was on a Saturday. And then like that following Wednesday, I think it was, my dad, I had to take him to the hospital. He had gotten sick. And so for the next 3 weeks, he was in the hospital, and he ended up passing away. So
Oh.
when he passed away, I had to bring all of the things out of his apartment into my garage
Hmm.
just to clear it out. So I couldn't get to any of those things that we had bought. So when we finally moved all of his stuff out and I could start going through all of that, we come across it was just this old ratty looking little black box. And I opened it up, and it looked like a little telegraph machine of some sort. I had no idea what it was. So I started looking and, just trying to find things that looked like that. And it was some sort of telegraph bug from the 40s.
Oh.
And yeah, so I mean, like I said, I couldn't tell you what I had in. It was less than $1 because we bought so much stuff for like $5 that day. Anyway, put it on an auction, and I sold it or that was not an auction, I'm sorry. I just put it, buy it now, and it sold in a week. And somebody, where was it? Italy bought it, and that sold
Oh.
for $362. So, I mean, that was a shocker there. Had no idea what they were. We had gone to an estate sale this past summer and found another one. It was just sitting on the table. Everybody was passing it by, and it was a smaller version, but it was the same sort of contraption, you know. And I think I paid $10 for that. I'm terrible with numbers and memory, but I believe I paid $10 for that, and it sold for over 200. So I mean, those types of things, you just odd, unusual things like that just kind of pop up.
Yeah,
And
I love the when you're out looking and it's like, well, I've never seen this before. That's the
yeah,
kind of stuff you want is
yeah. And
hmm,
if it catches my eye, it's going to catch someone else's eye as well.
right.
If
Yeah.
you see it and think, oh, this is unusual enough that somebody's going to want it.
Yeah, you just never know
So
what people are looking for. I was going to ask if you specialize in anything or if you're just open to whatever.
no, I don't. I just sell anything and everything. I haven't really found anything that, like that's my thing to sell. I tell you what I don't like to sell is glassware. I have some, and I have some in my garage right now that I keep putting off listing, but I just do not like to sell glassware. But anything else, I'm pretty much open to. And I will sell glassware if it's, a good enough item to
Right.
sell, but I try to steer away from that.
It's funny how people either love it or hate it. It's like
Yeah, like
clothing. Either they
Mary
love it
loves
or hate it.
Mary
Yeah.
loves the glassware, and not me.
But that's the beauty of this business is you can
Right.
pick and choose what you want to work with.
Yeah. And clothes, I don't sell a lot of clothes. I do have a few pieces in my store, just things that were kind of unusual that I picked up or things that I know will sell, like, Western shirts, things like that. And but overall, I don't usually gravitate toward clothing or anything
Mhm.
like that. But really anything that we can find that we think might be unusual. So,
I love that. Yeah, you're just open to anything.
yeah.
That's going to get you there. Okay, well, what else is on your list of interesting sales?
One thing that we found one time that was kind of an unusual sale. We'd gone to another estate sale, and this lady had, I don't know if her mom she had like a boutique maybe or something, and they had these little Boyd's bears, like little trinket boxes, and she had like 2 shelves full of them. I think I ended up buying 20. She sold them to me for $1 a piece, and Boyd's bears I normally don't pick up, but these were just cute. I thought they were cute. So
Mhm.
I picked them up and lotted them up. Think I had 9 in one lot, 11 in another, and started looking them up, for comps. I was going to list them individually, and when I started looking at comps of lots, decided that was the way to go. So the first lot I put on a 5-day auction, and there was 9 in that lot. So I had $9 in it, and it sold for $248.
Wow.
And it went overseas, I think somewhere, cannot remember where it went now, but so I listed the second lot, and it had 11 in it. Same way, a 5-day auction, and the same person come on and bought them all, and I think that lot sold for like $232. So I had
Oh
$20.
gosh.
Yeah, and it turned into, $500. But like I said, I had no idea when I buy them. I just, I get lucky sometimes. That's how it happens. So
I've seen those out in the wild and looked them
yeah,
up, and I haven't hit on any individual one that was worth doing. But I guess if somebody's a collector and you've got a lot,
yeah.
that's more
Yeah. And
appealing.
like I said, I never even look at those. If I'm out and I see them, I just happen, I don't know what even made me notice them that day. I think just because they were small and I thought they were cute, sitting on the shelf. And I thought, oh, I could probably get $10 a piece out of them is what I was thinking maybe. And, easy to ship, easy to list, easy to store. And,
Hmm.
I was pleasantly surprised. So
Well, good for you.
like my husband one time, he found a lot of this lady's husband had been a golf pro, and he had gotten out of that business. So she had this whole lot of like golf gloves, brand new, still in the package, and he picked those up for $1 each, and we just sell those $25 each. And I mean,
Hmm.
I like to buy lots like that. It's like a quantity listing. You can
Yes,
list one
yes,
item and a quantity.
yes. I
Bought
love
some
to buy
wallets.
that.
Yeah, I bought some wallets the same way. Snap-on wallets that there was 48 of them. This gentleman had been a Snap-on dealer and he had retired. So they were selling this whole box of brand new Snap-on wallets, and I got those. I think it was $2. I can't remember. Like I said, I'm terrible with numbers, but those sold. I'm sold out of those. Those sold for $20 to $25 each, depending on what the style was. So I mean, just easy,
Yeah,
to list like
yeah. I
that.
love that.
Yeah,
You just list it and put a quantity. And
yeah.
I found some hats the other day. They're like sock monkey hat with
Oh, yeah,
the tassels, like it's called a Peruvian hat. It's got the tassels down, and they were new with tag, but they were the Rastafarian style with the
oh, yeah,
stripes and had a little
yeah,
mohawk and everything.
yeah,
And I just picked them up. I'm like, these, I've never seen this before. And I sold one in one day. I mean, they were like $1 and I took
yeah,
15 on one. And we're like, this is hat
yeah.
season. So, strike while
Right,
it turns hot on that. But
right.
I love it when you just have a gut feeling. You don't even look it up. Okay, that wasn't like a whopper sale, but
But still, it's easy.
somebody's
Yeah,
somebody's going to be happy. Maybe they're going on a ski trip and they're going to wear this funny
right,
hat. And
right,
I love to do accessories because they're small, easy to ship, and
right,
you can't have too many, and they don't have to fit. Okay, most hats are one size fits most.
right,
The beanie type things, the stretchy
right.
ones, or belts or gloves or those little
Yeah,
things that you see. Well, you probably don't go to very many thrift stores, but they'll have a whole bin of random accessories, and that's my treasure
right.
hunt is
Yeah,
what I can find. I found a
yeah.
hat, a few hats over my career that sold for over $100. One was
Wow,
a
yeah,
Rolex racing hat, like a ball cap type thing, and it sold for over $100 in like one day.
yeah.
So you just never know on those promotional items how many were made and what the
Right.
demand is.
I found a hat like that one time. We weren't in yard selling. We had been to town to do our weekly errands, and we were coming back. We saw a sign. We pulled in and they just had this box of just hats. All the hats were $1. So I found it was just said Honda on it. It was some sort of racing hat.
Mhm.
Picked that up for $1, and it's it sold. I think it was over $100 for that.
Mhm.
So yeah, those are fun. One time I was visiting my daughter in Knoxville, and we had gone to a Goodwill. Come around the corner, I think I might have listed this on your page even, and come around the corner, and there was a hat just randomly laying on the shelf. It wasn't with the other hats, so someone had had it in their hand and laid it
Right.
down. And I could tell that it was older, it's probably 90s, and it was Charlotte Hornets. So I
Uh-huh.
picked it up. It was $5, and I picked it up and brought it home, and it sold $260 for that, and it sold fairly quick. It was just a vintage
Okay.
Charlotte Hornets hat. Yeah.
Well, I remember when I moved to Charlotte in 1988 from Atlanta. I'd just gotten married, and my husband at the time was transferred up there, and the Hornets were just starting. That was all over the news. Charlotte's
Yeah.
getting a basketball team, and so yeah, that would be vintage. That was
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
seem like it was
No,
that long
yeah.
ago, but it was.
From the 90s, I think. So,
But and speaking of sports teams, I'm in a different location now, so I'm seeing different things. But these smaller colleges, I'm finding like Eastern Carolina University, UNC at Asheville, Belmont Abbey. I'm having success with stuff from the smaller colleges, I guess, because there's not as many sweatshirts, hats, whatever
right.
made, and it's not as
Right.
saturated as the big, the giant schools.
Right.
So that might be some food for thought for the listeners is
Yeah.
just because it's not UNC at Chapel Hill or Clemson or any of that stuff,
Right.
doesn't mean nobody wants it. So
I've sold a couple of IU Indiana University items this past week, but I think it's because they're doing so good with their football program right now, and they're undefeated, and so I think that's kind of helped those along because those things have been setting for quite a while, but they've sold in the last week. So I think that's probably, like you said, things, how their season's going, I think probably helps them. Yeah.
have you noticed an uptick in Christmas items?
Um, Not necessarily. I mean, the only thing I've sold, I'm trying to think of what's sold in the last month. I put the on your page the shiny bright ornaments that,
Yes, you did. Those were
yeah, and
amazing.
that's, yeah, so those, and I did list some Christmas things, hoping I did sell some Santa, like the pencil Santas, the wooden ones, but had those on eBay and somebody contacted me. I also had those on Marketplace. I will do that sometimes, just list them both places. But those ended up selling on Marketplace actually. But yeah, the biggest Christmas I've had has been those shiny bright, and again, we were just randomly going down the road coming home from somewhere else, and we saw a sign and said estate sale, and we saw the door up, so we turned around, went back, and we thought it was going on, but didn't actually start till the next morning. But she's like, "Come on in and look." So we found those ornaments, and we couldn't get out of there fast enough.
And how much were they?
They were $1 a box, and we
Yeah,
ended
and there
up,
was like 12 in a box.
yeah, yeah, and she was
I
just
can't
wanting to get
believe
rid of
that.
things. Yeah,
Like,
and
doesn't
I've actually sat on those for a few months. I just had them in my garage and just waiting to get closer to Christmas, and finally I thought, Terry, get with it, so I pulled them out and listed them, and they sold fairly quick.
Yeah, they were in outstanding condition.
Yeah, yeah,
And
they
you
really
sold
were.
them as they were boxed, not individually.
Right. Yeah, I just sold them as a lot, and I'm not patient enough to sit and look at all of the. I probably would have done better, but I'm not that patient. I just don't have the time to do it like that mostly. So I
Oh
just
yeah,
lotted them
yeah.
up,
Well, and
and
you wonder when
yeah.
you find those things at estate sales, garage sales, do the people not know how valuable they are? Do they just not care? Or just putting $1 on everything?
Yeah, I
And
think
this is
because she was making a statement. She just wanted this because she had it. I think her mother had passed away, so she had all of this stuff in her garage. So she was just wanting everything gone. She was wanting her garage back.
mm-hmm.
So she's like, find what you want, make me an offer. But I mean, she had $1 on them. I wasn't going to make an offer on that. So
No, I just thank
yeah,
you very much. And you
yeah,
can't get out of there fast enough, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
good for you. It's just that's one of the things resellers know about the shiny bright ornaments, the aluminum Christmas trees, like the
Right.
vintage ornaments, the Holt Howard Santa
Mhm.
mugs, all that stuff. And we feel like, how can people not know this? But
Yeah,
it's not their business to know it.
right.
That's our business is to
Yeah.
know these things so you can get them for cheap. Don't
A
argue
lot
about
of
the
people
price.
starting to a lot of people starting to get on to the online selling though. So I've noticed like when you go to auctions and things are starting to go a little bit higher than they used to,
Oh,
just
okay.
because people can, if you're going to an in-person auction, especially, people run that stuff up that used to you could get fairly cheap. And I think It's just, people have access to the information now, or maybe
Right.
they didn't used to as easy. So,
Well, and
so
everybody's threshold is different because if you go to
right.
these auctions and you know what everything is worth, on the podcast that came out today with Kelsey, she was talking about she went to an auction and paid $300 for one of those aluminum Christmas trees.
Yeah, I was
And
listening to that this morning. I didn't get a chance to finish it, but I heard that story. Yeah,
she
that
sold
was
it for
awesome.
1,500.
Yeah,
So
that's
how
awesome.
many people bailed out because it got
Right,
over 250? Like that was their limit.
right.
And when you're selling a $1,500 item, $50 is not going to make or break you.
Right.
So I think it's kind of like when you go to the auctions, who's the bravest bidder and like what is their limit?
Right.
What do they
Yeah.
know? So
Yeah.
I would bail out early probably, but
Yeah. And that
good
was a
for
great
her.
tip. She said that was a great tip. She said someone gave her that, don't be afraid to spend up, if you know
Mhm.
something's worth it and you're gonna, make your money back easily. So great tip.
Well, looking back over your sales, what item did you sell for the most money?
I should have looked that up. I really don't know. I mean, the thing that pops out to me is like the telegraph thing that I told you. I mean, I don't think I've had anything over $700 or $800. I think I sold an Apple Watch one time. I had, oddly enough, picked up an estate sale. I'd gone up to pay for my pile, and it was laying there. I had some papers laying on top of it, and so I thought I saw the Apple emblem on the box. And I raised the paper up, and it was a brand new Apple Watch, and I asked them, I'm like, "Is this for sale?" And it was the last day of the auction, and I don't know how it was still there. And he said, "Yes." And I asked him how much. He said $10. And I was like, "Is this brand new?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "It's never been paired. It's brand new." And it has, it was still sealed. So I think that sold for upwards of 700. So that was probably my biggest sell I've had. I get a little leery with those huge sales because I'm always scared of, something's going to happen between here and there. But,
Oh, I
yeah,
understand. No, and that's a great amount. We don't
yeah,
all have the $3,000 ones.
right. And he
Sometimes
had
it happens.
same cell he had, and then again, I don't know how they were still there. They were setting up on the cashier's table, and there was a brand new pair of Apple AirPods, same condition, still sealed, had never been. So I don't know if this owner bought it and passed away, just never used them. I don't know what the story was, but bought those and give those to my daughter. She was just telling me 2 days before that her AirPods had died. So I'm like, here you go, brand new
Okay,
pair.
there
So
you
yeah,
go.
so everybody won that day.
Well, and I think computer people, technology people can sometimes overbuy and they have all this stuff and 8,000
Yeah,
chargers and all
yeah,
these different things that they just like to buy technology
yeah.
and then it's left over.
Yeah,
So,
and like I said, I was shocked that it was even laying there, but they did have things laying on top of it, so I don't know if people just weren't seeing it, as they were
mhm.
checking out, but it was the last day and they were just trying to clean it out, so he sold it to me cheap, so I was glad for that.
That works for you. So is your
Yeah.
eBay money earmarked for something like vacations or do you just put it in the family pot?
No, I've got a separate eBay account. So my husband, talking about my husband again, he's a wheeler dealer too. The joke in my family was always when my mom was alive, she called him Haney, like the guy on Green Acres, because
Okay,
he
climbing up
was
the
always
telephone pole.
swapping and trading and selling. So
Okay.
so he has an account that he used for his mower money, and then now he sells skids. He picks those up and he takes those and sells those once a week. So he kind of had that account. So I started the eBay account. So we just kind of use our accounts like that for whatever we want to buy ourselves.
Mhm.
I spend a lot of mine on grandkids, spoiling them and if there's something extra I want to buy for myself, I'll just buy it out of that account.
Good for you.
It's play money. Like
Yeah,
you said, if you
yeah.
go on vacation, you see something you want, you just buy it. You don't worry about spending the bill money.
And that's such a freedom
Yeah,
to know that eBay really is unlimited
yeah,
as far as what you can earn. It's based on how much time you can put into it and how much
right,
inventory you want to buy and store and all of that. But if you look at the opportunities, they're everywhere.
Right.
We're never going to run out of stuff to sell.
No, stuff everywhere. But yeah, so everybody wins. I mean, like I said, I get to spoil the grandkids and the nephew and the daughter, so everybody wins.
Well, good. Do you have any more items on your list to talk about?
I don't think so. I mean, just the things that, like, I've already mentioned the ladles, just the bread and butter things, repair manuals, just those little $15, $20 items that, I pick those up anywhere I find them because you pick them up so cheap. And,
Mm-hmm.
the little handheld electronic games, those kind of things, you pick them up for $1 all the time, sell them for 15 to 25. I
Right.
mean, it's just, it all adds up. Not everything's a huge sale and not everything has to be. Just it's kind of the little cherry on top when you find those,
Yeah.
but it's fun finding the little things too.
Well, even a $10 sale a day
Right,
adds up over a year to
right,
$3,600, which
right.
that's significant.
Hmm.
The Rome wasn't built in a day kind of thing. And
Right.
we do see the huge sales on the Money Making Mondays and the $100
Yeah,
sales. And
yeah,
even those people sell $10, $20 items. I
yeah.
just think you have to have all of it.
Yeah,
You have
because
to have a
that's
good
yeah, that's
mix.
what keeps you going, and then you get the big sale every once in a while, just as a pleasant surprise. So yeah, it's fun. It's addicting. I mean, I can remember when I first started, and I had I don't know why this number sticks in my mind. I can remember I had 17 items in my eBay store, and I was so excited, and I think Mary at the time had over 200, and I can remember telling her I will never have that much stuff because I just will never have that much. And now I'm up to almost 800 items, and it's like, how in the world does that happen in 3 years? But it just does.
So working this in with a full-time job, do you do listings at night or on the weekends or just whenever you can
Uh,
fit it in?
Yeah, mostly at night. If I wake up super early, like if I can't sleep and I get up early, I'll take pictures before I go to work, and then like on my lunch break at work, I will go ahead and create the ad or whatever. I do a lot of it at night, and then just whenever I get time. And I
Mm-hmm.
try to keep some in the drafts that if there's days that I can't do it. I try to do it every
Right.
day. It doesn't always happen, but if I do have drafts built up that I can, if I'm just sitting somewhere, I can list something. So
Yeah. Well, we recording this on December 17th, and I'm doing a bunch of these this week because I don't want to over Christmas. Just take a break. One thing I'm going to try here is on my listing days, I'm going to schedule out one listing for each day of Christmas week. So
Mhm.
I've got some automatic listings going up because that's where I get in trouble is I get busy with a holiday or company or
Right,
whatever it is, and
right.
I don't get my listings done. And I know that hurts the algorithm, but if you can do them ahead, and I would suggest saving them in the scheduled folder because I don't know if you've heard about the glitch with the drafts. They can
I haven't.
disappear. They can
Oh, really?
disappear. This has been going on for years, but people will have like, I had 20 drafts saved to send out live over the week, and I went in and they were gone.
Oh,
So
wow.
if you put them
Yeah.
in the scheduled folder and just put a date really far out into the future, I think you can go out 30 days. And then they're sitting in there and you can send them live and they don't
Yeah.
evaporate.
I
So
did not know that. That's good to know.
yeah, I'm going to try that with scheduling a few ahead just to not miss
Right.
because after Christmas is just as busy. People get
Hmm.
money or they have their themed Christmas parties in
Right.
January,
Right.
or they're waiting for someone to come home from overseas and they just put the holiday on hold. Whatever the reason is, January can be just as busy as December.
And I've kind of been slack with since Thanksgiving. Well, I told you I started the Black Friday sale,
Yeah, that
and I've
doesn't sound
been kind
slack
of
to me
slack.
at all.
Well, I mean, as far as listing, like, getting something listed every day, there's been a few days, more days than not, that I've missed it. But I don't know if it's just the holidays or if it's the sale or if it's a combination of both. I've ran sales before and it's never done this, so it has to be maybe the time of year. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've got to, get back with that, making sure I get that done every day because I think that is consistency does help for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the experts on the algorithm say.
Yeah.
eBay's never going to tell us everything,
Yeah.
but eBay likes active stores, and that's one activity we can control is listing.
Right.
So we can't control when it's going to sell or when offers are going to come in or anything like that. So you just have to focus on what you can do.
Right.
Would you venture to guess how many items you have that are not listed yet?
I'm going to say, oh, this is terrible. I'm going to say probably easy 200 items, probably.
That's
I've
not
got
bad.
totes. Yeah. 2 to 3, maybe. I've got totes. I've got piles that, and I say all the time, I'm not going to buy anything else until I get everything listed. And then we go to an auction and buy something else. But he's like, well, you got to get it when you can get it. So that's
Right,
that's my
exactly.
goal.
You
That's
got to
my
get
goal
it when
this
you can get
winter.
it.
Yeah. That's my goal this winter though, is to go through each tote and see, because I've got to, I'm running out of storage, so I've got to get some sort of plan in place to downsize and I have noticed as I've gone along, like the things that I first bought when I first started have just been setting. The things I'm buying now, they're moving faster, so I'm learning, what
Mhm.
to look for, what to buy, so I can tell a difference there. A lot of my newer stuff doesn't set long, but some of the older stuff I just need to go through and either redonate it, have a yard sale, or do something with that. But yeah, I've got probably, I'd say 200 to 300 items if I got out there and dug everything out.
So it's
So
like your own little store back there.
yeah, it's a lot. It's too
Well,
much,
here's a
but
tip on donating is don't donate to anywhere that you go shopping for inventory. You
yeah,
might
buy it
buy it
back.
again. I do I do that when I do pare down my inventory and donate things. I
Yeah,
put an X on it with a Sharpie, like in an inconspicuous place.
yeah,
If it's clothing, like on the label, like where it's not covering anything. But so if
right.
I see it again, I was like, oh,
And
that was
we
mine. I donated that. Don't buy that again.
we have a local flea market that goes every Saturday and Sunday.
Oh.
It's over in Cincinnati. So this past summer, twice we would just load up totes, and we didn't. The first time we did it, I'm not taking a bunch of tables. I'm going to take the lids off the totes and let them dig.
Mhm.
So we put, I think it was 13, 14 totes on this trailer, hauled it over there, backed it in. We couldn't even get the lids off fast enough. They were swarming the trailer, the early shoppers.
Really?
So yeah, and I mean, we sold just about everything. And what we did have, I think we brought home 5 items that day. And what we had left that didn't sell, a guy next to us was also a reseller. So he
Mhm.
just bought the rest of our inventory. So that was nice. We made some money. We got rid of a lot of things. And then we did that twice this past summer. And both times we just pull in, we take the lids off the totes, and they love to dig. So it makes it easy on us. And then when we're done, we just throw the lids back on the totes and bring it back home.
That's a great solution. How much does it
Yeah.
cost to be a vendor at the flea market?
It was only $25.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
it wasn't much at all. Yeah. And then whatever we sell that day, we just split the profits because, he does all the heavy lifting and all the grunt work. So I just give him half of whatever we sell. So
Well, that's better than having a garage sale and having to set
yeah,
everything up and
a lot more
advertise.
people.
And you just
Yeah.
go where all the other vendors are and blend in.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's worked out. So we
So
may
that
do
is
that
your
again.
backup plan for when you run out of storage is go into the flea market.
So yeah, when the weather breaks in the spring, because right now is not it's they don't have it this time of year, but when the weather breaks in the spring, we'll probably do that again. We'll have it all, hopefully dug out and separated by then. Then we'll just grab the totes and go. Yeah.
Well, that's a great plan. I love that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, we have made it to the end of our time.
Oh, that went quick.
So, would you consider yourself a newer seller since you started in 22?
Yeah, I do. Because I mean, you're always learning, but I feel like there's still yeah, I still feel like a new seller. I've got so much to learn, but I am learning. Like I said, a lot of the things I'm buying now are selling better and quicker. So I am
Mhm.
learning, but yeah.
As a newer seller, do you have any advice for people wanting to get into this? I do have a lot of listeners that haven't started yet. They're getting close to retirement, they want to set this up, or they're just doing fact finding before they jump in. So what would you say, maybe do's and don'ts from the
I would
newer
think
seller?
one thing I learned the hard way, I had like from the very beginning just to make some sort of like inventory system. Because when I first started, like I said, when I had 17 items, I thought I was big time, I don't need, I know where everything's at. It was on one shelf. But as you keep adding, I think I was up to 200 items before I ever started organizing it. I mean, it was just happen to get out there and try to dig and find what you need. It's just don't do it. Just from the very first listing, either have a tote system, a shelf, have something numbered where you can find where your item's at. Because you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to have to cancel a sale, because you can't find something. I have had to do that before, and so I learned that the hard way. You gotta start from the beginning doing that.
Do
And like I
you
said,
use the custom label field on the listings to
I
say where
do.
your item is?
I do. Mary actually taught me that, so that's been a great help. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so yeah, so now I've got everything listed. I know where it's at, and just do inventory once in a while because I have noticed things that I have in totes that have been listed are no longer listed on eBay. I don't know where they go. They go off in
Oh, that's another glitch. They just
magic
drop off.
land somewhere. Yeah, I'll be
Mhm.
out there going through a tote and it's not even listed. So, every once in a while, just go through and, just do a tote at a time if you have to and kind of go through it. And like I mentioned earlier, if it's the mistake I made when I was first started is like, oh, this is $1. I'm going to buy it. But it's only $1, but it's never going to sell. So it doesn't do
Mhm.
you any good to buy it cheap if you're just going to be babysitting it. So,
Yeah,
and
people
old
say it.
doesn't necessarily mean valuable. I learned that too. I used to think, oh, it's old, it's going to be worth money, but it's not. You just got to kind of do your research and,
Yeah, it
you know,
depends on what it is.
right.
Yeah, and people say, I'm in the selling business, not in the storage business. So
Right.
you don't want,
Right.
I mean, everybody's threshold is different. How much
Right.
space do you have? How much money do you want to put into your inventory? But when you can go to an auction and buy an entire table worth of stuff
Yeah,
for a
yeah, I
dollar,
mean,
who's going
yeah.
to turn that down?
And I used to try to just get, the most I could, but now I'm getting more to the mindset of I want to move it. I don't want to be storing this. I've got too much to store already. So,
Hmm.
I'll take a little bit less as long as you buy it at a decent price, it all works out. So,
Well, and that works is because there's always going to be more stuff coming, and
right,
there's no shortage. We can find it so
right,
easily, and in some cases very inexpensively. So
right,
being a more of a turn and burn seller, you don't have that accumulation, which can be
right.
overwhelming and draining and cause anxiety and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah, yeah, I would like to get it down to 250 items of good items, and that's my winter project. We'll see. We'll see how it
well,
goes.
maybe you'll have lots of blizzards and have to stay inside,
Yeah,
and that's what you'll be doing.
that'll force me to work on it. Yeah.
Right. The bank will be closed. I don't know. Do things close up when you have really severe weather?
No, we still
No.
have to be there. Yeah.
Mm.
And I mean, a lot of it's online banking. People can do online banking now, but there's still, a lot of the older generation, they do like to come into the branch if they can make it in. And, the younger generations they do everything on their phone or, online.
Well, I think the government rule, at least it was when I was in banking, was it can't be closed more than 3 days in a row. Is that still how it
Um,
works?
Probably, yeah, because we just, yeah, there's always has to be somebody there to process files that come in, because
Right.
people have to get their payrolls, so you have to go in and make sure you take care of all of that.
Right. I know you took today off for some appointments and things. Are you doing any eBay work today, blended in with that?
I am. I actually was getting some items ready to ship out this morning, so I've got a couple of hours I can kill before my next appointment. So I'll probably just go ahead and do some listings and get some photos taken and things like that.
Good for you. Yeah, use
Yeah.
that time. You might,
Yeah.
hey, some of those items might sell today. You never know.
Yeah.
I
I
love
hope
it.
so. I
Well,
hope
thanks
so.
again for taking the time to come on the podcast and give us your experience and perspective. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day off. Well, but what do you get? Christmas Eve and Christmas Day off?
The bank closes a half a day on Christmas Eve, and then they're closed Christmas Day. But I will actually be on vacation starting the 24th, and
Oh,
then
that's right.
until
You
after.
said that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, enjoy your time and we'll look for more of your sales on the group.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Terri mentioned her friend Mary Disney, who helped her get started. Mary was on the podcast in December of 2022, episode number 90, if you want to check that out. Next week, my guest is Jane, who is a repeat offender. She was on the podcast in April of 2023, episode number 107. You may remember that Jane runs her own thrift store, supported by donations from residents in her small town. So please join us for that next week. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you have a profitable and productive week on eBay. Bye for now.